Namaste students. In this video, I'm going to solve Neet level questions. Let's start with the first question. For a particle moving along a straight line, the displacement x depends on time t as x is equals to atq plus beta t square plus gamma t plus delta. The ratio of its initial acceleration, initial velocity depends on. So now according to the question, your position is given to you as it's atq plus beta t square plus gamma t plus delta. Let's try to find out what is going to be its velocity. Velocity can be calculated as v is equal to dx by dt. Differentiate this equation with respect to t. We'll get it as 3a t square plus 2 beta t plus, and this is going to become constant 0. So we need to find out its initial velocity. So initial velocity can be calculated when time t is equal to 0. So let's substitute now here. Your u is equal to 3a into 0 plus 2 beta into 0 plus gamma. I have now here u to be as only gamma meter per second. Initial acceleration is also asked. Since you know that your acceleration is dv by dt, differentiate your velocity with respect to t, which is going to become 6at plus 2 beta. We need to get initial acceleration. Again, when time t is equals to 0, your acceleration will be equal to 6a into 0 plus 2 beta. So the initial acceleration comes a is equal to 2 beta. We need to get the ratio of initial acceleration to a by u is asked. So we have to find out a divided by u. Your a is 2 beta. 2 beta divided by u, we got it to be as gamma. So it should be depending on beta and gamma. So therefore your second option is right. Let's move on to the next question now here. Second question. Two balls are dropped from the same point after an interval of 1 second. If the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second square, what will be their separation 3 seconds after the release of first ball? So let's try to analyze the question this way. Now this is going to be your first ball. For the first ball, the two balls are released from the rest. Let's take now here for the first ball, your initial velocity is 0 and your acceleration to be as g. Let me take g to be as 10, which is 10 meter per second square. And also you know your time is what? 3 seconds. For the first ball, let me find out the distance travel. The distance travel s is equals to, this is ut plus half at square. Half into your acceleration is 10 and your time is 3 square, which is actually going to become now here 9 into 5, which will be 45 meter. This is for the first ball. Now similarly, let's try to check it for the second ball. What is going to be the distance travel? For the second ball is also going to be dropped from rest. U is equals to 0 and again g will be equal to 10 meter per second square. Now what is going to be the time? At an interval of 1 second, so it won't be 3 seconds, it should be 1 second less, therefore your time to be equal to 2 seconds. Let's try to find out what is going to be our S2. S2 will be equal to half into 10 into, and your time is what? 2 square. So which is actually going to become 20 meter. Now we need to get the separation between them. Separation between them is separation between them is S1 minus S2, which is equal to 45 minus 20, which is 25 meter. 25 meter, which is our third option is right. Question number 3 now. A ball is released from a top of a tower of height h meter. It takes t seconds to reach the ground. What is the position of the ball in t by 3 seconds? So now let's try to find out now here. This is going to be from ground. From ground, we have a tower. Tower is of height h. Tower is of height h. And according to the question, it takes t seconds to reach the ground. Let's find out now here what is actually going to be the distance traveled. Suppose if it is going to be h, h will be equal to half into g into t square. This is going to be your first equation. When time becomes t by 3 second, when time becomes 3 by 3 second, we are supposed to get what is going to be our x. Let me take that x to be as h dash. So for t by 3 seconds, let me take it has covered a distance of h dash. So therefore, your equation will become now here h dash is equal to half into g into t by 3 the whole square, which is actually going to become now half g into t square by 9. This is our second equation. Let's divide equation 1 by 2. Dividing equation 1 by 2, that is h by h dash. H by h dash is equals to, h is we got it as half gt square. Half gt square divided by half into g into t square by 9. So here t square everything gets cancelled. So we have left with only what now here? H by h dash. H by h dash is equal to 9, or I can write this one to be as 9h dash is equal to h, or you can write your h to be as h by 9. We have found out only the distance travelled t by 3 seconds, but we are supposed to get, look, all the options are actually given from the ground. So therefore we are supposed to get what is going to be the position of the ball from ground, which is going to be now here h minus h by 9. H minus h by 9 is going to become 9h 9 divided by 9, which is going to be 8h by 9. So 8h by 9 should be our answer, which should be option C. The next question now here, your fourth question. Two particles are released from the same height at an interval of 1 second. How long after the first particle begins to fall will the two particles be 10 meter apart? So now here the question we have to find out is, we need to find out the time t after the release of the particle 1 when the distance between two particles is 10 meter. So let's try to consider first for the first particle now here. Let me take my first particle now here. For the first particle, let me take time taken to be as t and the distance traveled to be as h1, and acceleration let me take it to be as g. So h1 will be equal to half into g into t square. This is for the first particle. Similarly, now for the second particle, x to be taken to be as h2, then what happens to your time t now here? T will be equal to interval of 1 second. So your t will be t minus 1. And similarly, you take your a to be as g. So your h2 will be equal to half into g into t minus 1 the whole square. According to the question, your h1 minus h2 is given to you as 10 meter. So at what time these two particles will have a distance of 10 meter? This is given. So let's try to substitute now here. Your h1 is half g t square minus half g into t minus 1 the whole square should be equal to 10. Now here we can actually take half g common. Half g into t square minus, it's a minus b the whole square, which is t square minus 2t plus 1, is equal to 10. Half g into, this gets cancelled. I have 2t minus 1 should be equal to 10. Since g is 10, half into 10 into 2t minus 1 is equal to 10. This becomes 5, and even 5 and this also can be cancelled. So we have 2t minus 1 is equal to 2, or 2t will be equal to 2 plus 1. 2t is equal to 3. So from here we can get your t to be as 3 by 2. 3 by 2 is nothing but 1.5 second. So 1.5 second, which is our first option, is right. Let's go to the next question now here. Question number 5. A, B, C, D are points in a vertical line such that AB, BC or CD are equal. If a body falls from rest from A, then the time of descent through AB, BC and CD are in the ratio. So now according to the question, first let's try to take now here. There are three different, the positions are given to you as it's A. It's starting from the point A, B, C and then D. So let's name this one to be as A, B, C and then D. Now here A, B, C, D, distance between these two all are same they have given. So this distance, let me take it as yes. From here to here BC is also yes and CD is also going to be yes. Now if a body falls from rest from A, then the time of ascent through the distances are being asked. Then from A to B, from here to here the distance becomes 2 times of S. From here to here, if it is actually going to fall down, the distance is going to become 3 times of S. So let's try to approach the question separately now here. Let's take now for AB. For AB, let's try to get what is going to be your S. Your S will be equal to half into G into, let me take the time taken here to be as T1 and here T2 and here to be as T3. So half into G into T1 square. Since the question is asked in terms of time, let's try to rearrange this equation and try to write your T will be equal to square root of 2S divided by G. This is going to be the first equation. Similarly, let's try to find out what is going to be the distance traveled through AC. When it is going to be from A to C, now the distance is going to become 2S. So therefore, we can write 2S will be equal to half into G into, your time will not be T, it is going to become what? T1 plus T2. So it's T1 plus T2 the whole square. Or else I can write this equation to be as T1 plus T2 will be equal to square root of 4S by G, and make this one to be as our equation 2. Similarly, AD we will calculate. So AD, it is going to become 3 times of S. 3 into S will be equal to half into G into, this is T1 plus T2 plus T3 the whole square. Or else from here we can get now here T1 plus T2 plus T3 will be equal to square root of 6S by G. This is our equation 3. So now we are supposed to get the ratio of T1, T2 and T3. Since you know that already, your T1 will be equal to square root of 2S by G. Then how to write down your T2 now here? Your T2 will be equal to square root of 4S by G minus T1, which is equal to square root of 4S by G minus your T1 is square root of 2S by G. Or else I can take commonly here, commonly what we can take, it is root 2S divided by G can be takenly common into what now I have root 2 minus root 1. Similarly, I can also write T3. T3 will be equal to square root of 6x by g minus square root of 4s divided by g, which is also can be reduced as square root of 2s by g into root 3 minus root 2. Now we are supposed to get the ratio of T1 is to T2 is to T3. Now you see your T1 is 2 square root of 2s by g and T2 is in terms of what? Root 2. Common terms we take, then we can write now here they are in the ratio of 1 is to root 2 minus root 2 1 and then root 3 minus root 2. So they are in this ratio, so therefore they are option D. 1 is to root 2 minus 1, root 3 minus root 2. So therefore option D is right. Let's go to the next question now here. Question number 6. A body starts from rest and moves with an uniform acceleration. The ratio of the distance covered in the nth second to the distance covered in nth second. So what your question asked it is xn to xn is what is asked. So you know already to calculate your xnth. Xnth is equal to, this is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. And you also know to calculate your distance equation. X is equals to, this is ut plus half at square. The only thing we are actually going to take it to be as what? When time t is equal to n second. When time t is equal to n second, let's try to calculate what is going to be our xnth. Xnth will be equal to u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. And then xn is equal to un plus half into a into n square. Let's try to now get the ratio. Xn divided by xn. It is u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1 divided by un plus half into an square. Now here in this we can actually cancel u. Our initial velocity 0 means itself you will get this term to be also 0, or I can actually take, if initial velocity to be 0, I will be left out with only what now here, a by 2 into 2n minus 1 divided by half into an square, which is nothing but 2n minus 1 divided by n square. Or I can rearrange this one and write it as, this is 2n divided by n square minus 1 divided by n square, which is equal to 2 divided by 1n cancelled, 2 divided by n minus 1 by n square. So your option A should be the correct answer. The next question now here, question number 7. The average velocity of a body moving with uniform acceleration after traveling a distance of 3.06 meter is 0.34 meter per second. If the change in velocity of the body is 0.18 meter per second during this time, then its uniform acceleration is. So let's try to solve the question this way now here. So you know this average velocity. Average velocity is what? It is displacement by time taken. That is displacement by time taken. This average velocity is only given to you. Average velocity is given to you as 0.34. Traveling a distance of what? This is also given to you as 3.06 divided by, let me take this one to be as time t. Let's calculate our time t first. So your time t will be equal to 3.06 divided by 0.34, which is equal to 9 seconds. Now we need to find out what now according to the question it's an average acceleration. So average acceleration. Average acceleration is change in velocity by time taken. This is change in velocity by time. What's our change in velocity here in the question? The velocity is changing velocity is 0.18 divided by time we got it to be as 9 seconds. So 0.18 divided by 9 is 0.02 meter per second square. So your average acceleration is 0.02 meter per second square, which is going to be our second option. The next question now here, question number 8. A stone is thrown vertically upwards with an initial velocity u from the top of a tower and reaches the ground with a velocity 3u. The height of the tower is. So initially when it is being thrown upwards, it is being thrown upwards with the initial velocity u. When it is coming down, its velocity is going to be, it's coming down according to sign convention, it is minus 3u. And the distance traveled is also taken to be as height h, coming down minus h. And the acceleration is minus g. Now we need to find out the height. So let's take the equation. V square is equal to u square plus 2 into a into x. So how much is our v? V is minus 3u, the whole square should be equal to, this is u square plus 2 into minus g into minus h. This is going to become 9u square. 9u square will be equal to u square plus 2 into g into h, or I can write this one to be as 8u square. 8u square is 2g into h. From here we can simplify this further to be as 4u square. 4u square is equal to g into h. Therefore your h is equal to 4u square divided by g. 4u square divided by g, which is going to be our second option. The next question now here, question number 9. Two identical balls are shot upwards, one after another at an interval of 2 seconds along the same vertical line with same initial velocity of 40 meter per second. The height at which the balls coincide. So now the height at which the balls coincide, now again we'll consider this one. Now we need to find out what is the height at which the two balls are going to coincide. Now let's calculate its distance traveled by the first ball. For the first ball, your initial velocity is 40 meter per second. And the time, let me take it to be as t. Acceleration as minus 10 meter per second square. And the distance traveled, let me take it to be as h1. So therefore, h1 will be equal to 40t minus half into 10 into t square. This is for the first ball. Similarly, for the second ball, we can write it as, say two balls are actually thrown upwards. Velocity is going to remain same. For second ball, initial velocity is also 40 meter per second, but the time will not be same. 2 seconds later. So therefore, let me take it as t to be as t minus 2. Acceleration here also to be as same, minus 10 meter per second square. And the distance x, let me take it to be as h2. So therefore, h2 is equal to 40 into t minus 2 minus half into 10 into, this is t minus 2 the whole square. Now what they have said now here, along the same vertical line, the height at which the balls collide. So it means that according to the question, here h1 and h2 are equal. If h1 and h2 are equal, then what is going to be the time? Let's find out first and then put the value of t in any one of the equation, get what is going to be the height. When h1 and h2 are equal, so what is our h1? h1 is 40t minus half 10 t square is equal to 40 into t minus 2 minus half into 10 into t minus 2 the whole square. These two are equal. Let's simplify the equation. Let's simplify the equation and try to write it as this is 40t minus 5t square should be equal to 40t, remove the bracket, minus 80 minus 5 into this is t square minus 4t plus 4. Again, when you remove this bracket, this is actually going to become 40t minus 5t square will be equal to 40t minus 80 minus 5t square plus 20t minus 20. Let's cancel out now here. We are left with what now here? Minus 100 plus 20t is equal to 0. From here we have got t to be as 5 seconds. Since they are asking us to find out the time, we found out, but we need to find out the height. So let's get the height now here. Height at which the two balls collide. So now here it means let's try to put the value of t in any one of the equation. So h1 will be equal to 40 into 5 minus half into g is 10 into t square is what? 5 square, which is actually going to become what? 200. 200 minus 5 into 25. This is 200 minus 125. 200 minus 125 is 75 meter is the height where two balls collide, which is going to be our second option. Let's go to the next question now here. Question number 10. A stone is dropped from a certain height which can reach the ground in 5 seconds. If it stops after 3 seconds of its fall and then again released, the total time taken by the stone to reach the ground will be. Now after 3 seconds it has been stopped and again it has been re-released. So let's now, according to the question, the total time is given to you as 5 seconds. Let's also find out what is going to be the total distance traveled. Total distance traveled. Total distance traveled will be equal to half into a into t square. So which is nothing but half into 10 into time. Total time is given to you as 5 square. So therefore which is actually going to become 125 meter is the total distance traveled. Let me also, the total distance for 5 seconds we got it. Distance traveled in 3 seconds. What is the distance traveled in 3 seconds? Distance traveled in 3 seconds will be equal to half into 10 into, which is going to be now 3 square. 3 square is 9. 9 5s are 45, which is now 45 meter. Now again, to cover the remaining distance, let's take the time t. To cover the remaining distance, let me take the time taken to be as t. What is the remaining distance now here? Total distance we got it as 125. So therefore the remaining distance will be now here 125 minus 45. 125 minus 45 is 80 meter. Now this to 80 meter, what is going to be the time it is going to take? So now since you know that S is equal to half A into T square, you know your S is 80. 80 is equal to half into acceleration is 10 and your T square is we are supposed to get our T. So we are getting here this one to be as 80 is equal to 5T square. This is going to be now 16. So T square is equal to 80 by 5, which is equals to 16, or we get T to be as 4 seconds. Now the total time taken to cover the remaining distance is 4 seconds. But what am I supposed to find out now here? Total time taken by the stone to reach the ground. Your total time taken will be now here 3 plus 4, because for 3 seconds it is covering a distance of 45 meter. Again it has been stopped and released and it's taking a 4 seconds to cover your remaining 80 meter. So totally 3 plus 4, which is going to be 7 seconds. So 7 seconds should be your answer, which is going to be your option C. Thank you, students.